Hey everyone, have you ever wondered why relationships with older women can be more rewarding and at the same time more challenging? Could it be that dating an older woman is the ultimate test of emotional resilience and self-mastery? What if I told you that Stoic philosophy holds the key to not only attracting, but deeply connecting with older women by transforming you into a stronger, wiser, and more grounded version of yourself? In today's video, we're diving deep into how Stoic principles can guide you in building lasting connections with older women. This isn't about quick tips or tricks, but about mastering your emotions, showing genuine virtue, and growing as a person. By the end of this video, you'll have the tools to connect on a deeper level, build trust, and even win her heart, all while maintaining your own emotional independence. So if you're ready to understand the Stoic path to attraction, stay tuned. Introduction. Why older women? Older women tend to have more life experience, emotional maturity, and wisdom. This can make them not only attractive, but also a powerful mirror for your own personal development. Younger women might overlook certain flaws in emotional control or life direction, but older women will recognize these gaps instantly. They're not seeking superficial flings. They value depth, emotional stability, and self-awareness. This is where Stoicism comes in. The Stoics were all about mastering the self. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, once said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." The quality of your thoughts directly impacts how you interact with the world, including your relationships. When it comes to connecting with an older woman, it's your emotional resilience, your thoughts, and your mindset that will create attraction. Let's dive into the core Stoic principles and see how they help foster authentic, lasting connections with older women. 1. Master emotional resilience. Older women value emotional stability. They've likely been through tumultuous relationships in the past and are now seeking a partner who can remain grounded through life's ups and downs. Stoicism teaches that we can't control external events, what people do or how they act, but we can control how we respond to them. This is the heart of emotional resilience. Seneca said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." Think about how often we let our minds spiral into worry. For instance, maybe you're dating an older woman and she's taking longer than usual to reply to your text. It's easy for your imagination to conjure up all sorts of negative scenarios. Maybe she's not interested, or perhaps she's found someone else. The Stoic, however, recognizes that these thoughts are mere illusions. What matters is how you choose to react. Here's a short story to illustrate this. Imagine a man named Alex who started dating an older woman, Maria. Maria was an established professional and often busy. Alex found himself growing anxious whenever she didn't reply to his messages right away. He'd panic and assume the worst. But one day, he remembered the teachings of Stoicism. Instead of spiraling into insecurity, he reminded himself that her response time was beyond his control. He shifted his focus inward, onto the things he could control: his work, his hobbies, his mindset. To his surprise, when Maria did respond, she apologized for being busy and said she appreciated his patience. She valued that Alex wasn't needy or reactive, a quality that endeared him to her even more. The lesson: emotional resilience isn't about ignoring your emotions, but about mastering them. When you remain steady and calm in the face of uncertainty, you become a reliable and attractive partner. 2. Focus on virtue over impression. Older women have experienced many forms of superficial attraction, from smooth talkers to grand gestures. What sets you apart in their eyes is your virtue, your inner character, not just the persona you project. Stoicism emphasizes virtue as the highest good. Epictetus said, "It is impossible for a man to learn what he thinks he already knows." This reminds us that humility and the pursuit of virtue should always take precedence over trying to impress others. Imagine a scenario where a younger man, Jacob, meets an older woman named Sarah. Sarah is well-traveled, well-read, and has an eye for authenticity. Jacob feels the need to impress her with his knowledge, so he exaggerates his accomplishments, embellishes stories, and tries to present himself as someone more experienced than he is. However, Sarah sees through this. She's not looking for someone to dazzle her, she's looking for someone real. Contrast this with Daniel, who approaches his interactions with Sarah from a place of humility. He doesn't try to one-up her. Instead, he listens more than he talks and asks questions about her experiences. He's open about his own journey, both his successes and his failures. In doing so, he reveals his authenticity and depth of character, qualities that Sarah finds refreshing. The lesson here: virtue is not about appearing perfect or successful in the eyes of others. It's about being genuine, consistent, and living in alignment with your values. Older women, with their life experience, will appreciate this more than anything superficial. Third, show vulnerability without losing strength. Vulnerability is a trait that, when balanced correctly, can create deep emotional connection. Older women aren't necessarily looking for a man who's always strong and stoic in the traditional sense. They value a partner who can be emotionally open while maintaining inner strength. Marcus Aurelius said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." In relationships, vulnerability might seem like an impediment. It can feel risky to expose your emotions, fears, or insecurities, especially to someone with more life experience. But it's precisely through vulnerability that we grow and build trust. Consider the story of Tom, who was dating an older woman, Jane. Jane was a successful entrepreneur who had been through many relationships. Tom admired her, but was initially intimidated by her experience and success. Instead of hiding his insecurities, Tom chose to be open about them. He shared how he sometimes felt like he wasn't on her level, but also expressed his desire to grow and improve. Rather than seeing this as weakness, Jane respected Tom's honesty. She appreciated that he was emotionally mature enough to discuss his insecurities without letting them define him. Through this act of vulnerability, Tom strengthened their connection. He showed that he wasn't afraid to reveal his true self, while also demonstrating the Stoic principle of personal growth. By acknowledging the obstacle, his insecurity, he transformed it into a bridge for deeper connection. 4. Embrace patience and delayed gratification. Older women often aren't in a rush when it comes to relationships. They've been through enough experiences to know that deep, meaningful connections take time. This is where the Stoic practice of patience and delayed gratification comes into play. Seneca said, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." What he means is that we often rush through life, seeking quick rewards rather than focusing on the long-term benefits of patience and discipline. Take the example of David, a man who began dating an older woman named Laura. Laura had a demanding career and was upfront about needing time to build trust. David, practicing Stoic patience, didn't push for instant results. He didn't constantly seek reassurance or try to accelerate the relationship. Instead, he focused on enjoying the time they spent together, cultivating their connection slowly and steadily. Over time, Laura began to appreciate David's patience. She had been with men before who rushed things, seeking immediate gratification, which often led to disappointment. But David's steady approach, allowed the relationship to grow organically, without pressure. This long-term thinking, a hallmark of Stoic philosophy, is deeply attractive to older women who value emotional maturity and depth. Here's a practical example of how you can apply this principle. If you're dating an older woman and she's juggling multiple priorities, give her space. Instead of demanding her time or attention, focus on your own self-growth. Continue developing your own interests, passions, and skills. When you meet, she'll see that you're a man who values both her time and his own, a key trait that older women respect. 5. Demonstrate independence while offering value. Older women have often established their own lives, careers, and identities. They aren't looking for someone to complete them, but for a partner who complements them. This is where Stoicism's principle of self-reliance shines. As Epictetus said, "No great thing is created suddenly. Independence is built over time, and in a relationship, it's crucial to maintain your own sense of self." Imagine you're dating an older woman who's an accomplished artist. You might feel tempted to immerse yourself entirely in her world, thinking that by doing so, you'll win her favor. But Stoic independence teaches that while it's great to share experiences, it's equally important to have your own passions, goals, and pursuits. A short story. Mark was dating Julia, a successful writer. Early on, Mark felt the urge to mold his life around Julia's interests, attending all her literary events and engaging solely in activities she enjoyed. But over time, Julia began to sense that Mark was losing his own sense of identity. What she found most attractive about him in the beginning, his passion for photography and love for hiking, seemed to fade. It wasn't until Mark reconnected with his own hobbies that the relationship improved. Julia admired that he wasn't just focused on her, but was also driven by his own passions. They began to plan weekend trips where he'd take photos while she'd write, each maintaining their independence while growing together. The lesson: independence is key in maintaining a healthy, attractive dynamic. When you bring your own value to the table, whether it's your career, hobbies, or personal growth, you create a balanced relationship where both partners flourish. 6. Master the art of listening. Listening is a skill that cannot be underestimated, especially in relationships with older women. As Seneca said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." The ability to listen actively and empathetically is a hallmark of emotional maturity, a trait that older women appreciate deeply. Consider the story of Ryan, who started dating an older woman, Monica. Monica had been through a difficult divorce and was rebuilding her life. Early in their relationship, she shared some of her past experiences with Ryan. Rather than interrupting or offering advice, Ryan simply listened. He didn't try to fix her problems or turn the conversation toward himself. Instead, he asked thoughtful questions and showed genuine interest in understanding her perspective. Monica later told Ryan that what she valued most about their relationship was his ability to listen without judgment or ego. She had been with men before who constantly talked over her or tried to solve her issues, but Ryan's patient, empathetic listening made her feel truly seen and understood. Conclusion: the Stoic path to lasting connection. In conclusion, Stoic philosophy offers timeless principles that can help you build meaningful, lasting connections with older women. By mastering emotional resilience, focusing on virtue over impression, embracing vulnerability, practicing patience, demonstrating independence, and mastering the art of listening, you cultivate the qualities that older women find deeply attractive. Remember, Stoicism isn't about suppressing your emotions or becoming robotic. It's about cultivating inner strength, wisdom, and self-awareness. And when you bring these traits into a relationship, especially with an older woman, you create a foundation of mutual respect, trust, and genuine connection. So, whether you're dating an older woman now or hoping to in the future, remember, the Stoic path is not only the path to self-mastery, but also the path to building authentic relationships that stand the test of time. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe for more content on Stoicism, relationships, and personal growth.